What's up, everybody? So I am going to be going live on a couple different places at Veterans for Natural Rights or Facebook.com/Veterans for Natural Rights. That's where I'm headed. Lay down, Boris. He's with me. I'm going to go out there and grab this real quick here. Give me just a second. I'm going to grab this link so that I can share it with you. All right. Keep on rolling. I trust that everyone has had a wonderful afternoon, perhaps maybe an excellent evening. Let's see if I can find you. We will share. All right. Let's grab this link right here. Boom, we are live. What is up, my veteran friends and family? I hope you're doing well. I have not had the opportunity to speak with you guys in quite a while, so this is a bit of an introduction for some of you. For others, maybe not so much. We're going to talk about the places to start, where to start, and we're going to talk about it as long as we can. I'm doing the dad thing today, so for those of you that are able to follow along, I appreciate it, but for those of you that are watching later, you can go to timothylocklear.com and go and find the YouTube video, or I just posted it on my profile. So we're live on the Veterans for Natural Rights Facebook page, and we are also live on YouTube, which is timothylocklear.com. You can get there. And we're also broadcasting in the Veterans for Natural Rights community Facebook group. And in that group, I asked a question. The question was, I want to do more in the local area to connect with other veterans. I sort of posed it as a statement as opposed to a question. And the answer I get unanimously is, I don't know where to start. And so I want to address those. Step one, I want to encourage everybody to just find one veteran. Just find one person that is similar to you in as much as possible, right? Find somebody who you identify with, perhaps somebody that was in the same service as you, and find a way to, if you can, connect with them in a real way. And by connecting with them in a real way, what I mean is very simply, it's pretty simple, send them a message on Facebook. If you're listening to this, it means you have a Facebook, and it means that your friends probably also have a Facebook, right? Speaking of Facebook, if you would not mind going and sharing one of these copies of this current video going on right now, that would be awesome. Again, I'm being broadcasted in the group, I'm being broadcasted on the YouTube channel, and I'm also being broadcasted on facebook.com/Veterans for Natural Rights. The purpose of this broadcast is quite simply to encourage other veterans and help facilitate more movement. That's the goal. That's what we want, more movement. And the thing is you folks out there, a lot of you are already doing a lot of the hard work necessary. A lot of you are already talking to people. You're sharing the things that need to be shared. You're having the conversations that need to be had. But you're feeling sometimes aimless. Sometimes you're feeling pointless, perhaps, where you're not sure where to go, what to do. That's okay. That's not wrong. I mean, those feelings are normal. The fact is, the fact is that you have within you the capacity to facilitate what you need. So you just simply need to apply it. So here's what you need. Here's what you thought you didn't know you needed, but here it is. It's super simple. Send a message to another veteran and say, I'd like to connect with you. I'd like to have coffee with you. I'd like to talk with you in some capacity. I'd love to go on a hike with you. And then just begin conversating and tell that veteran what's going on. Hey man, look, I've been seeing these other guys as Veterans for Natural Rights, and it's been great, and I really love what they're doing, and I'd love to get more involved, and I was thinking about maybe, doing a hike once a week. Well, okay, that's cool. Yeah, I'd love to do that. So then you and that veteran get together once a week and you go for a hike. It's pretty simple, it's pretty basic. But it can go into a lot more. It can go into quite a bit more. And it can turn into a real relationship if you don't already have one. Now, if there's somebody in your life that you think of that you already, hey, you know, there's already somebody like that for me, well, that's great. That's splendid. Go with that person and do difficult things with intentional purpose on a regular basis often. That's what I suggest. Why? Well, there's a lot of science behind why, but ultimately the biggest reason is connection, connectivity. The more hard and difficult tasks that you do with someone else, the more intentional kind of results you're going to see. So facing these issues of PTSD, facing these issues of just simply being alone, trying to face all this stuff alone, it's overwhelming. It's too much to deal with alone. Nobody wants to deal with it alone. I don't, right? So, and you don't have to. That's the big thing also, is that you actually don't have to do this thing you're doing alone. You can actually legitimately handle this stuff without fear of retribution. You can address these issues, especially when you create relationships with people that can make a difference. When you interact with people who are intentional about their behavior equally as intentional as you, because the goal is not to promote a brand or simply promote a message. It's actually this like real change in real people. And I could give you a list of people that are experiencing real change right now as a result of the fellowship that they've created perhaps months, maybe years ago. This intentional, purposeful kind of fellowship, you know what I'm saying? And that intentional kind of purposeful fellowship can only come as a result directly related to you getting off your butt, proverbial and or literal. Get off your butt. Stop it. Like, this is tough talk here, but you need to message that person you don't want to message, because that person is going to be the person for you. That person is going to be the one that's going to be there for you when you need them. I know that sounds selfish, but it's a fact, Jack. So I know, and it's really difficult to say to people that struggle with PTSD like I do. Makes my jaw chatter want to think about it. It's also because it's friggin' freezing here in Omaha. I'm sure it's cold everywhere else also, except for Hawaii. But here's the thing. You find a veteran and you pick a freaking day. And if you don't go to fellowship at a building that's called a church on Sunday, Sunday should be your friggin' day. Find a day like Sunday and you find a veteran and you go out every single Sunday, no matter what, no matter what, no matter what, I said, and you interact with that veteran for a couple hours, doing, if you can help it, doing difficult tasks like climbing a mountain, or going and getting choked in jiu-jitsu, or going and doing yoga in the sauna, or talking about your emotions, or spending 15 minutes doing mindful meditation. If you don't know what mindful meditation is and you're listening to this, listen closely. Go to YouTube right now and search 10-minute guided meditation. You need that. You don't know you do, but you do. Take a second, give it some time, give it the good old college try, and you'll see the results. And then after that, bring that to your bros. Bring that to your drinking buddies. Because that's what their obvious go-to is most of the time, is booze, right? But that's for the birds. I'm all right with booze. I'm actually having a little Modelo Negro myself over here. I like the Modelo Negro. I like beer. It's good. Especially great with tacos. It's great. Again, though, the focus is not on getting drunk. I just enjoy the beer. But when you get together with your buddies and you both have mental issues, the proclivity towards poor choices in alcohol consumption can often happen. It's often the case. So don't allow that to happen. Instead, choose to be conscientious and aware that you're in the driver's seat. You're the one in the boss's seat here. You're the one that's making the decisions about your body and your mind. You are. Okay? So message the veteran. That's step one. And then step two is keep going every single week for weeks. And add another veteran and another. And when you do that, send us a message. Send me a message. I'd love to help you. But that's step one. That's step one. Do it. You don't need some franchise or special credit card or debit card or business card or special shirt or stickers. We have stickers. I have some right here actually that I have yet to be able to get to mail out. But for those of you that have been wondering, I got stamps. And right here I got envelopes. They're going out today. Thank you for your patience for those of you that have been waiting for stickers for a day and a night. But here's the thing. Stickers aren't really where it's at. You know where it's at is finding that moment where you were given the opportunity to give in to your symptoms and you didn't. Real talk. Where you had the chance to tell the world middle finger and you didn't. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. And I would say that the best answer to the question of what can I do next is message a veteran that lives within 15 to 20 minutes, maybe half an hour from you, and do something about it. Be honest about it. Make a difference. See what I'm saying? Because you can. You have the capacity for that. So then once you've done that, right? Once you've done that, then you sort of have the freedom to go from there and do just about anything you want, really. Just about anything you want. Hiking, jiu-jitsu, biking, yoga, sauna, meditation. There's a laundry list of things. But they all start with you being willing to do it. Okay, so how do you get to that place, right? Somebody might say, well, that's great for you, but I don't even know how to get to that place. Okay. Well, I appreciate your honesty, pretend veteran that asks the question that I happen to know the answer to. Supplements can help quite a bit, in my experience. Some 5-HTP, some kava kava, some holy basil, perhaps some other natural medicine. If you live in a state where cannabis is legal, that might help a little bit, perhaps. I don't know. These are all things that are possibilities for sure. But they're up to you. They're up to you. They're not up to anybody else. So no one is going to force you to get to that place, especially not when you need it the most, right? They're not going to do it when you need it the most. That's not what's going to happen. What's going to happen is you're going to blow it off until you don't think you need it, and then you turn out you need it, and then it sucks, and you're like, I don't know what to do next. That's often what happens in my experience. It's often what happens. So, I would say perhaps it would be beneficial to not allow yourself the freedom of backing out. And so what that can look like is if you're consuming large amounts of substances that inhibit your capacity to function normally all the time, there's something not right. You're missing something. Even cannabis. Ooh, everybody's like, wait. I'm like, yeah. If you're consuming enough cannabis or natural medicine or booze or whatever it is, coffee, and it's making you not be able to function on a normal level, you're tripping. You're tripping. And that's bad in that capacity. Not tripping in like the, I guess, medicinal sense. You're losing sight of what is important is what I mean. Okay? So first back that away so you can get some clarity. And that can be achieved in a variety of different ways. Look, I'll pack my stuff in a van and drive to your house. I mean, if you pay for the gas, I'll come to your house. And I'll walk you through a 5 or 6 day regiment of love and conditioning, where we wake up at 6 and we start with yoga and then we go into 10 minutes of guided meditation followed by 30 minutes of silence, sitting. And then we run hills for 2 hours. and then we drink a protein shake, and then we have lunch, and then yoga. And yoga is just the warm up for the jujitsu. Then we do jujitsu. And then we eat a well balanced dinner. And then we sit in the sauna for 30 minutes. And then we come home. And then we read books about mindfulness and awareness. And we go to sleep and we wake up and we do it again the next morning. That'd be awesome, right? Again, I'm just, hypothetically saying those things, but I for real would do it. I legit would see a value in having the capacity to go to somebody's house and help them that way. If they could actually make the case that it would help them, I would. See, because I think that sometimes people just need to see that it's there. Some people just need to understand that they have the capacity for these kinds of things. And then all of a sudden they're like, wow, really? It's there. It's there. People just don't, I don't know. They second guess themselves, I guess. They think worse or lesser of themselves than they really are, perhaps. I don't know. It's confusing sometimes because I see so much capacity for people to help other people in real ways, but yet it just doesn't happen. And I wonder why that is sometimes, but I understand. I see it. I get it. It just doesn't make as much sense sometimes because we know that people have the capacity for helping. We know that people are capable of working through these issues. We know this, but yet, for some reason or another, it's not happening. And I would submit the reason for this not happening is directly related to people's inability to see their own capability, perhaps. It's very simple. You open your Facebook Messenger, the one that you're currently probably using at this moment, and you send a message to a veteran who lives within a reasonable amount of time to you. And you say, hey, when's the next time within the next 3 to 5 business days that you could spend half an hour with me? Why? Because I need it. And I'm too much of a wimp and egomaniac to tell you. Or something. I don't know. I'm joking. I'm sort of joking. But that's the facts, right? That's what keeps us away, right? Is our egos, right? We're all aware of that, right? That this is sort of the way this works. That when we don't do what we know we're supposed to do, a lot of the times the reason is directly related to our egos, I think. I don't know. I added this dumb question to the video I'm posting in the group, and I apologize for anyone that can't answer it. It's being done. Anyway, if you're not in the group, it's a Veterans for Natural Rights community group, and it exists just like it sounds for a bunch of veterans around the country, some around the world, who can interact and find fellowship and community, right? That's also the part of the reason the Veterans for Natural Rights Facebook page is there. Also for Matt to post cool memes to, and me to post cool stuff too if I can, and that's sort of the idea, right? People love it for some reason. They like it, they dig it, and we love the opportunity to be able to talk about it just because it helps more people. The more people that are affected by what we say, these kinds of moments right here, the better. That's the way we look at it. See, we see the effects. I could, again, list off names of people who have been affected positively by this kind of communication that I'm talking about right here. It's super simple. It's super duper simple. Find a veteran who's reasonably close to you, send them a message and say, I would like you to meet with me face to face so that we can talk about doing some of this hard stuff that they're talking about. And if you're a veteran out there right now, and you're either watching on YouTube or Facebook, or you're listening on the Veterans for Natural Rights Facebook page, or whichever, okay? If you're a veteran and you don't know what to do, but you have the resources and time and are willing to do work, I would love to come out and do some of that kind of stuff. We can do all kinds of great preparation beforehand. We can get, natural legal medicine circles. We can get hikes scheduled, meditation. We can find out if local businesses in the area would sponsor those kinds of events so that we can perhaps offer some resources to veterans and make connections and hopefully set up a plan so that the veteran in that community is not just ready to be changed personally, but ready to pick up the mantle to help other veterans to do the very same thing in their own city, right? To help reciprocate the kind of love and appreciation that they get. I call it the Jesus camp feeling, right? People go to Jesus camp and they feel oftentimes all this sort of like frivolous emotion, and they feel all bubbly, and it's like, oh man, this is so great. But then they come back and it's like, oh, this is, life sucks. This is terrible. Well, that's sort of what happens a lot of times when we have these veterans events, especially when they're only once a month. Now, I want to say the exception is Matt Kale's amazing, the 4Bs. For those of you that don't know, you need to get going because it was a dope time, and he did some groundbreaking stuff. But that being said, typically I like to do stuff once a week, especially with folks that are just right around the corner. We have a community. We know, if somebody lives an hour away, they're willing to drive halfway, and the next week we can drive halfway, and we can work it out. We can make it work. There's no reason it can't work. And I'm telling you, if there's a reason that you can come up with for you not being able to get out and actually communicate with a veteran at least once a week, talk to me. Send me a message, timothylocklear.com. Because I want to see what I can do to help you not feel what you're feeling and experiencing it the way you're experiencing it. Because difficult times are good. I want to be clear about that. That's a good thing. Difficult times, they're good. So suck it up, buttercup, get some good supplements, do the push-ups. It's hard, it's tough. That's what she said, all that stuff. It's tough. That's just the facts. But here's what's not. Fellowship. That shouldn't be tough. But unfortunately, PTSD is a sumbitch sometimes. And it has a way of working its way into our lives, making us hate things we loved and love things we hated, et cetera, et cetera. It flips the script on us. So what do? We flip the script back. I'm going to message Bill, that veteran that lives down the street, and I'm going to do my damnedest to hang out with Bill. And I'm going to talk to Bill, and Bill and we're going to be the bestest friends. Why? Because Bill may be an idiot, he may be conservative, and I'm a Democrat, and I'm a Republican, or whatever. It may be up and down and left and right. He may not like it doesn't matter. I need fellowship with humans that get what I'm saying. That when I look off and stare off into the nothing, they're gonna walk up and smack me in the back of the head and say, "Hey, come here, stupid. Let's go on a hike." That's the kind of love you need. And you can cultivate that kind of relationship, but it's got to be organic. You can't BS this kind of relationship. You can't fake this. You try to fake this, and it's going to show. I could list some www.nonprofitveteranwannabethuggishname.org.com.net. I could list off a bunch of orgs that have done this sort of non-organically. And it looks like garbage. It smells like garbage. It looks like garbage. It is garbage. However, there are other organizations, Veteran for Natural Rights being one of them, that have chosen to intentionally skip a lot of that garbage, which is part of the reason why I am glad to be a part of this group. Because we skip the BS. We skip it. We go right to the heart of the matter. When's the last time you hugged another veteran? For what reason? Why not? Why do you need a reason? These people understand you in a way that you perhaps don't understand. And if you're still stuck in the mode of, I don't need no help, well, get right, because that's wrong. Jack, or Jill, or whichever in the middle. You're wrong. You do need help. You do need support. You do need love. You do. And if you think you don't, you're broke. And I would love to come to your city or your town on your dime and fix you with love and care. Because I can't fix you. You can. You can do it without anybody's help. You're aware of what's going on. You have the tools and resources right in front of you. And if you don't, send somebody a message. My name is Tim Locklear. I've got a website. It's timothylocklear.com. My buddy's name is Matt Kale. My other buddy's name is Shane and Nick and Dave and David and Matt and Chris. These all are people who really give a huge crap about humans and would go way out of their way to listen and then to help. I know, I've seen them do it. So you're not alone. So your claim of nobody wants to help me, it doesn't work. I love you guys. I love you enough to say these hard things. They need to be said. Y'all are more than equipped to do what you need to do. And it's not about advancing a brand. But look, if you go out and communicate with people, feel free to talk about Veterans for Natural Rights. You understand what it means, right? You guys understand what Veterans for Natural Rights is? Go back through the group and look at the message. Understand what the ethos is. Understand why we say what we say. We're not simply trying to legalize weed. We're talking about the innate natural rights that veterans have. Talk about the sacrifice that veterans chose to make. And then we talk about ways to appropriately handle and honor them and love them and help them and all these kinds of things, right? Which can be tough and difficult, extremely tough and difficult. Because they're really, really mean people sometimes. It can be really moody, in fact, right? So it can be really easy to want to maybe not listen, to maybe not hang out with them or be around them as much just because they're kind of a pain in the ass sometimes. But just because they're a pain doesn't mean that we shouldn't listen to them. It doesn't mean they don't need help. It also doesn't mean that if you're being a pain that you should stop. You should keep being a pain. You should stop it. If you're capable of controlling your emotions long enough, you should just take it easy, right? Okay, so I've ranted and raved long enough. Here's the thing. You guys all are amazing. You guys really have a lot of impact on the community around you. You just don't know you do. So take a step. Reach out. Send a message to somebody, please. Do it before it's too late. Because there's somebody in your community right now that's waiting for you to send them a message. They really look up to you, if you believe it or not. You got to find that person, and the way you do it is you got to reach out. You got to be honest. It's part of the reason why I do the dudes that I do the things that I do is what I mean to say. All the difficult works and communication and stuff. It's not just simply about being vain and telling everybody about my emotions. It's actually about transparency. It's about telling other people, hey, you know what? I'm having a hard time too, because I find support. When I'm honest and transparent in that way, like a glass house, I find this measure of support that's unparalleled in comparison to the kind of support that you think you would get somewhere else. It's being that kind of transparent creates a result of true intimacy and dialogue that really helps in immense ways. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. I don't know. So I guess I'm going to leave it open for you folks to ask any questions. For those of you that are in the group, if you're listening still, that's great. If not, awesome. For those of you out on the YouTube channel, I'm going to go ahead and say farewell, so long, au revoir. Thank you for watching.